Hello and welcome to another anime lore video, and today we are going to take a look at what is most likely the biggest difference between Ainz Arc, the undead overlord of Nezarec, and Arc, the friendly neighborhood skeleton. Furthermore, I will try to make this as free of spoilers as humanly possible. Basically, if you have seen Overlords last season and the trailer for Skeleton Knight in another world, you can't be spoiled here. But before we're going to take a look at the two, let's take a look at my Patreons and thank them for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now, while the two are eerily similar, aside of course from their color scheme, which is literally the opposite, both are reincarnated into another world, as skeletons, although for a different reason which shall not be discussed here, and both joined an adventurer guild, collected herbs, slayed some basilisks, and both of them even protected the innocent from an attack, and even from the very same kind of attack, to be more precise. Now, while it was only in the Overlord novel, in the first one of the members of the Sunlight scripture who were dressed as the Knights of Baharut in order to assassinate Gazev Stronov, the strongest man of the kingdom, so that the Baharut Empire would have an easier time conquering the kingdom, which was something that the theocracy wanted, apparently wanted something more for himself. And he tried to do what normally goblins and goblin slayer would do to human women, in this case Henry, but instead of getting what they wanted, they got what they deserved. Ainz defeated them and thus rescued Henry and Nemu. And the same also happens more or less in Skeleton Knight. A young noble woman and her maid barely escaped an ambush by bandits, until she didn't. Now her attackers also wanted to do what goblins normally do, and then Arc showed up and did a little goblin slaying. So in conclusion, while both Ainz and Arc originally didn't want to get involved, both of them did the opposite, because the situation demanded it of them. But their motivation is worlds apart. Ainz Arc initially didn't want to intervene, due to his emotional suppression. He didn't feel compassion, empathy, or even disgust, despite the fact that he was just a normal salaryman a few days ago, who had been isekai'd into another world. Seriously, at some point, there will be more salarymen in fantasy universes than in Japan. But ultimately Ainz did intervene, because he, despite his emotional suppression, still had very fond memories of his friends and former guildmates. He still cherished them and got furious if someone would tarnish their names or lie in it. Hence why he felt compelled to save Henry, because Touch Me has saved him once in a similar situation. He did it not because of any selfless consideration, but because he felt that a debt needed to be paid. And the NPCs that were created by them back in Yggdrasil are all he has left of them, hence why he is so emotionally attached to the Great Tomb and to nothing else. While he did enjoy his stay with the Swords of Darkness, for example, a young aspiring adventurer group, they were all killed, and Inferior, who also accompanied them, kidnapped. And while Ainz was indeed angry, first and foremost he thought about Nezarec, even if this meant to basically extort the famous potion maker and grandmother of Inferior, Lizzie Baliar, to basically become his thrall by giving him everything that she has, so that she may see her grandson again. And while he had the power to revive the Swords of Darkness, he simply didn't, because in death they were far more useful to him than in life. And the same goes for Henry's parents and anyone else. Nezarec comes first. The well-beings of others may be damned. And in the case of the Happy Farm, they actually are damned. Basically, Ainz can't form new and meaningful deep connections to others, because his past still prevents it. Only if he would discard Nezarec and the memories of his friends, which is something that he would never do, could he potentially form new friendships and become happy. And we know this because it's precisely what happens during the bonus novels, where he and Evil Eye, and later the newly formed Adventurer Guild, also known as Ainz Arc, became his new peer group and circle of friends. In contrast to all of this, Arc, while he isn't free from baggage either, saved the girls, and by extent sacrificed his original plan of just laying low and living a quiet life, because he wanted to, because saving these girls from great harm was a natural thing to him. And he also forms emotional attachments to his later friends, and his version of Hamuske, another wise being of the forest. Arc helped because other people needed his help, because he can feel their sorrow, pain, distress, and because his moral compass compels him to do it, not because he feels that he owes somebody else a good deed, just to honor their memory. And while this difference might not seem to be important at first, it is basically the main difference between Overlord and Skeleton Knight in another world. And last but not least, if Ainz had been accompanied by Touch Me, or any of his other friends, he would have been a very, very happy guy, living through a very, very wholesome story indeed. Where Ainz and his guild would have made the world a paradise by peaceful means. Now in the end, both Ainz and Arc are striving still for this very same goal. But due to Ainz detachment from the new world of Overlord and his attachment to his past friends, their means are vastly different. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Ye, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia II, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Okill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss Rock Edsmasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Sonnegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.